Welcome to the channel. This is Techno Scope.
Okay, you should be able to hear me now. So, today I went shopping, and yesterday I went shopping on Amazon. So I got a few new things that I wanted to tell you about. Batteries, because I run a business that runs off batteries. You don't care about those. But anyway, this right here is the old MX Master Mouse by Logitech. It's been a fantastic mouse until recently. Like, I don't know what it is about Logitech devices, but their mice, at least their non-gaming mice, seem to die on a regular interval. And this one, even though it was $100, was no different. But this mouse right here is freaking fantastic for people who are doing production, video editing, things like that. I've had this since several months after I started doing YouTube full time, and it's been a great mouse. I loved it to death. So Logitech came out with this guy right here, the MX Master 2S. It's pretty much the same exact thing. They claim that it's more accurate, has more. The tracking is supposed to be higher, more precise. According to the back of the box, even on glass, up to 4,000 DPI, which is freaking fantastic. This guy has always been good, but it was never super accurate. Hopefully this one fixes that problem. The only other thing about this mouse that they advertise that's supposed to be different from the old one is this thing called Flow. Logitech Flow. Basically, if you have more than one computer, say you work in a lab or a production office or something, you have a Mac, a PC, and Linux computer, for some reason, all sitting side by side at the same desk with 3 monitors, or you have a laptop with 2 desktops, or whatever it may be, you'll be able to seamlessly go from one device to the next with this mouse and the included software. Actually, I believe the ability to do that is built into Logitech options. Honestly, guys, there's nothing that stops them from doing that feature with this mouse, other than, honestly, I don't know. I don't think it comes with 3 sensors, 3 receivers. I think it's only 1 receiver, so it has to be all software. There's nothing that stops this mouse from doing that with this one. But of course, in software, I guarantee you they won't let you do it with this one. That's really not a big selling feature to me, although they try to make it out to be one. I don't know many people that have even 2 computers side by side, let alone 3 or 4. So really, the only reason to get one of these mice is if you want the more precise tracking. If you prefer to get the older MX Master, I'll throw a link to that in the description below. That mouse is, last I looked, was $49 on Amazon, which is half the price that it was normally going for. And it's been discontinued, so once they sell out, they sell out. This guy right here is the normal $100. Again, I needed a new mouse. This one right here just stopped working on me. It actually has something to do with the thumb click mouse. Thumb click that's over here on this side part. I'm not really sure, but something about it got to the point where it doesn't click anymore. And when you actually press on it, the entire mouse just stops tracking. The clicks still work, but the tracking on the mouse stops, and you can't move the cursor at all. So I'm guessing Something in here broke, probably. More than likely the switch broke or the circuit board was damaged somehow. But anyway, I still do videos. I still edit, and because of all of that, I'm going with the same exact mouse. The horizontal scrolling for the thumb is invaluable when you're doing video editing and editing photos and using Illustrator, things like that. That thumb wheel comes in great handy, and plus you can do all kinds of macros and activate all kinds of other different features using one of these using the software. If you need a good mouse, I'm not sure how good it is for gaming. It's super precise now, so it might be good for gaming too. So look into that. The other thing I got, I won't be measuring any body parts with this, so 6 inches is more than enough. This, if you don't know, is called a caliper. I've wanted one of these things probably since I first started buying my own hand tools and things. I'm just now getting around to getting it. It looks like it's already on. Yeah, it's already on. How about that? I was pretty sure that the battery wasn't in it because it has a battery right here. I guess it's just a spare battery. This guy is pretty cheap. It was like $16, $17 on Amazon. If you don't know what a caliper is, you take anything that you have, you want to know the exact size, precise size of it. I mean, down to fractions of a millimeter. Put it in there, and it will tell you. Or use this side right here to measure inside of something like a nut or anything that needs measuring inside. I need primarily the side to measure the outside, but that side comes in handy as well. This one has something that the calipers I've looked at in the past didn't have, which is a depth meter to tell how deep something is. So you can use that to measure something. That's pretty cool. Never even considered needing something like that, but now that I know that it exists and I actually have the tool, I might use it. So $16 for that. And again, if you ever need to measure the precise diameter or measurements of something, these are good tools to have. If you do your own manufacturing or woodwork or anything like that, you'll know plenty about using one of those. So the big guy that you probably want to know about. If you know what these companies are on these boxes, you already know what this is. So I'm gonna open the big one before I open the little one. Guys, if you know this logo, if you haven't seen this logo, then you're really missing out. Monoprice makes some of the best hardware that you can get for the price. Nearly every cable that I use in this office for all our recording needs are Monoprice. Not only are they cheap, they're very cheap compared to all the not all the competition, but most of the competition. And they're very high quality. So it's like if you're buying, I would compare it to Monster brand quality in most cases. If you were buying like Monster cables but only paying, like $10, $6 to $10 for most of their cables, that's what their cables are like. They sell other things like the headphones that we're using for doing our podcast. These are Monoprice as well. These headphones were $25. The cable detaches, so if you mess up the cable, you can get a new cable and put in here. $25. So I mean, now it's for a podcast and not necessarily for listening to music, but I mean they sound decent for $25 headphones. But the build quality is great. They feel comfortable when you wear them, and the cable's detachable, like I said. So if we ever mess that up, that's not a problem. Don't know. My phone is tripping. I'm using it to remote control the camera, and the phone, I don't know what it's doing, but camera still says it's recording, and the phone is apparently reconnected now. So anyway, let's go ahead and open this guy. So when I started looking at other things, Microsoft Monoprice also makes a lot of other equipment, not just cables. They make networking equipment. They make network cables. They make a lot of different accessories and things you would use for a computer, things that you might need or want. And this happens to be one of them. Wow, it's a box inside of a box. So let me slide this out. It might actually tell you inside this inside box what's actually in it. Nope, I was wrong. Yeah, it's just a brown box inside of a brown box. In fact, the inside box doesn't even have a logo on it. It just has a sticker, a tiny sticker up here that tells you what it is, but you can't see that from the camera, even in 4K. Okay, up here we have stuff coming off that box. It says, thank you for your order. For additional information and to download the user manual, go to their website and enter the model number. Dedicated 100% to satisfaction. I'm not really sure about that because I've only dealt with Monoprice's customer service on one occasion, and it was just kind of to answer a question. So I don't know what their customer service is like, to be honest with you. Okay, let's do the box flip thing one more time. See if we can get this out without actually breaking it. Feels like something is sliding in there. Can you see this on that side? I'm not sure. Whoa, Static City. Feel it on my arm. Okay, so exactly what I thought. I don't know if the camera caught that, but dang, that was loud. And dang, that hurt. Okay. Okay, so it's completely not assembled. I'm going to have to assemble it myself. Or I guess not. Maybe it's just the way that it was poking out. All right. I'm not sure if it's gonna make it past me getting shot. Remember all those videos and people talking about how you don't need anti-static because everything is anti-static resistant now? Yeah. Luckily, I'm not touching any circuitry or anything. But that styrofoam is Static City. I know you love that static sound. I mean that styrofoam sound. Kind of drives me nuts, but anyway. So this right here is my newest toy. And I do have a lot of uses planned for this guy, so it's not just to play with, but I'm going to be playing with it nonetheless. This right here is a very cheap but very well made 3D printer. I've been wanting to get into 3D printing it's probably been at least 5 years now. It's probably been longer than that because time flies and you never really have a grasp of when something is unless you have a reference point. But anyway, for years, I've been wanting to get into 3D printing and never have until now. And the reason for that is because 3D printers used to cost a fortune. When I first started looking at them, the cheapest you could get was like $1,000, and they went up from there. This guy right here is $220 on Amazon, and I'll leave a link for that in the description below as well. $220, you get pretty much everything you need. It's considered one of the best entry models there are on the market. There's no real assembly apparently from what I see. Actually, I'm not sure if there's. There's a couple things. There's like tubing in here, and there's a box with some stuff in there, probably a power supply or something. But as you can see, most of it is put together. I've seen I've watched videos where people have gotten a box full of parts and had to assemble things, and well, that could be fun and everything. For my first 3D printer, I don't want to go through that. But here's how this affects you, the viewer and subscriber, hopefully, of this channel. Because this is my first 3D printer, I'm going to be learning all the ins and outs of 3D printing. And as I do that, I'm going to take you along the way and make videos. I'm probably going to do a video calibrating it as I not read through the manual. I'm a man, I don't read manuals. I'm not going to look at it. Somebody else might do it. I don't know. Somebody might read it to me. Anyway, but I'm gonna probably make a video setting it up, getting it ready to go. And as I test different methods and learn to use the software and start printing different things, I'm gonna make videos on all that. I'm gonna take you through all that stuff. I'm going to basically start a series on 3D printing, and this is just going to be my first printer. I already have plans for the next one that I'm going to be getting, but I'll leave those details for another video because it's going to be pretty interesting. It's not going to be the typical means of going out and just buying a 3D printer. I'll tell you about that in a future video. This guy right here, supposedly, from what I read, you have a dial here to control a little display, USB port right here for connecting to USB straight to your computer, or a micro SD card slot, which is probably the best way to do it. Or this guy is supposed to have Wi-Fi built in. Not sure how trustworthy that is. I have the best router you can get for consumer right now, so if Wi-Fi is reliable at all, then it should work just fine, but we'll see. I have a separate table set up in my office just for printers, and that's where this guy's gonna go. In a previous video I showed off this little guy right here. I never actually did the review for it. Still gotta get around to doing that. This is a metal housing, and inside the metal housing is a Hero 5 GoPro camera. And this little guy is going to be responsible for doing my time-lapse recording of this 3D printer. So I'm going to set that up. So I know people do live streams of 3D printing occasionally. I probably won't do that, but I'll definitely capture some time-lapse video for it, because that always looks great in videos. I love watching time-lapse. Anyway, so look forward to videos about that. The other stuff that I got, of course, is supporting stuff for it. This right here is a 2.2 pound or 1 kilogram. For people to say they use kilos, is that how you pronounce it? Kilogram? I'm not sure. Anyway. 1 kilogram, 2.2 pound, 2.2 pounds of brown PLA. I will get back to you in my future video on what the differences are between these type of filaments. But the only thing I really know at this point is that PLA is what's most common. I heard that using the other primary type called ABS creates quite a smell. Not that these can't, but because this is in my office, I'm not really sure where to go with that yet. And I have to do some research to make sure that that stuff can actually be printed inside the house with no problems. I tore it. Wow. After all that work. Okay, so this one right here is by 3D Mars. The other one is 3D Salutech. This is 3D Mars, and it's a roll, same size, 1.75 millimeter diameter, 1 kilogram of black PLA. These aren't the only 2 rolls that I ordered. I also ordered 2 other special types of filament that do something pretty cool. So I will have videos on that stuff hopefully when I do those videos, I'll actually have something printed to show you about them. But standard black and brown PLA to get me started. But anyway, guys, I hope you look forward to seeing these videos, because I look forward to playing with this thing and making stuff. So if you have any questions or anything, leave those in the comments down below. If you have any suggestions, because I know a lot of you guys also know this stuff really well, go ahead and leave those in the comments down below. I do know that the software that I'm using is Cura. It is the official software that Monoprice recommends. I'm not sure what other software you can use with these things and how all they work, but to get started, Cura is the software that I'm going to use, because that's what they recommend, and that's what they show you how to set up. But anyway, guys, hope you like this video. Hope you look forward to the future videos. Go ahead, subscribe, like this video if you liked it, and check out my links in the description below if you want to buy anything that you've seen here. My name is Elemento, and this is Technoscope.
TechnoScope is a TwistedCurve production.